Good morning, friends. It's Sandra from Fowler Family Homestead, and welcome to our day. It is a gorgeously overcast day today. Oh, it's so nice. We have been in the upper 90s to 100 and over for the last couple weeks, and that is not Michael and I's ideal temperature. We like it chilly. That's why we moved to a snowy climate. So this last week and a half, 2 weeks, I think it's been about 2 weeks now, has been not enjoyable, to say the least. And then at the beginning of next week, we have to go get hay, and it's going to shoot up to like 97, I think. So that'll be an enjoyable event. I think we're going to take you guys along with us when we go get hay. But today we are going to embrace this cooler weather that we have. I think the high is 81 today, which I don't even understand right now how it feels like it's going to rain. My poor garden. These are huge hail balls. Put your hand in there. Tell me how deep that is. That doesn't do anything.
As long as there wasn't any lightning strikes, I guess that helped.
No kidding.
That button. Not longer than my finger.
Not longer than your finger. It's chilly enough that I could actually put on a sweater, but I'm not sure if that's because we're just getting used to the heat. So this little drop in temperature feels significant to us. But I have to milk, and then we need to water the garden. We'll go take a look at what we've done. We have many projects that we want to show you guys today. We've been busy beavers here on the homestead. So today will be kind of like an update video. So stick around to see what we've done. Are you ready? Her standing in her place, all ready to be milked. Lily has been such a good girl lately. I have not had to call her up in the morning, or we haven't had to go get her. She's been here ready to be milked for the last, well, since the heat came. Good morning. Good morning. She says, all right, let's get to business. All right, milking is done. Got about 1.5 gallons. That's about what she's been giving per milking, which has been a blessing. I don't think I would want any more right now, considering it's garden season. This is enough for me to handle. And right about the time when I'll be full-fledged ready for more milk, Miss Lillian should have a calf. Our neighbor's bull hopped the fence and bred her, Maggie, and then our 2 Aberdeens, which I'm not exactly sure if I've showed you guys them yet. We've had them for a little bit now. We got them this winter, and that was about the time when we slowed down really hard on doing videos. I guess you guys can look at me instead of the cow. So we did have 2 calves as well, which I'll show. Oh my goodness, you're so flexible. She scratched the top of her head with her back foot. Sometimes I'm just impressed by cows. Anyway, we had 2 calves, which we'll show you guys in a little bit whenever they come down. Annabelle and Lady had calves, and they're just absolutely adorable, especially Annabelle's. Annabelle had a rough go about with her calving because she's so young. She actually, right after Lady got bred, because the bull had come over here last August, and bred Lady, and then a couple weeks later, Annabelle, we found her over in their side of the yard, or in their side of the field, and Annabelle was bred at like 8 months old. She was very young, so her milk supply and her instinct was just not there. But she is turning out to be quite the good mama. We actually caught, you hear the cows, we actually caught Annabelle's calf nursing off of Lady down here yesterday. Both the calves were nursing at the same time. Lady has just a ginormous milk supply this time. Her udders are bigger than Lily's are right now. And by like a long shot. And Annabelle has hardly anything, and she has had hardly anything. We actually had to supplement when the baby was first born with Lily's milk, which I can't even tell you. I don't even know what we would have done if, don't do that, if Lil hadn't been in milk still. Come on, you had your grain. It's time to go out now. Lily's at the point where she's about ready to go in, even though it's July and there's still plenty of grass out. I think that she has been enjoying her not having to forage around. It has been an incredibly dry year, so as much grass as we still have, they're running out rapidly. So we're getting 20 ton of hay on Monday, which is always, it's hard work, but I so enjoy getting our hay in. All the kids help out. We take all of the children, and the big kids are now old enough that they can buck a few bales, especially Andrew. He's very capable, so it'll be the 4 of us really going, and then it's a big giant field. We've been getting hay from these folks for a couple years now, and the kids can just run and romp and tear. Well, we get the hay in. For the past few days, we have been butchering a lot of chickens. Even in the midst of that heat, we woke up. One of them is starting to crow, actually. We still have about 22 chickens left, I think. And a couple of the roosters are starting to turn into men. Or teenage boys, I guess, going through puberty. Teenage boys. So like I said, we are in the process of butchering our chickens. We butchered 35, I think, the first day, then a few less the next day, and then the other day we just did another round of chickens. So we have 22 left. We started out with 103. This is our best year doing chickens. We hardly lost any. We actually only lost one when they were babies, and then we randomly must have lost another one. I can't remember because we have 97 that were butcherable. And then we had a gimpy that we needed to just get rid of. He was on the verge of death. And then we lost 2 during the heat. So that was 5 chickens that we lost. No, because that would put us at 98. Yeah, because I only think we lost 5. So 98 chickens that we have processed or are in the midst of processing. And it's so wonderful. I love this season. Heat and all, you know, I'm not a big fan of the heat, but I'll take it because I love coming into winter prepared. So getting our hay in, getting the chickens butchered, having a full freezer of meat, our garden, you know, all of those things. It's just such a blessing to me to be prepared. Speaking of that kind of realm, we were blessed with a whole bunch of apples and pears the other day. So I canned up a bunch of them. I got 12 jars of apple butter because we love apple butter in our house. And 14 jars of pears. I would have had 17, but I was going to can the rest of them this morning, and I left my burner on all night long. I forgot to put them away, and so I think I'm just going to process these down into some pear butter, and it'll probably just make a jar, and I'll throw it in the fridge for us to eat for the next couple days. We've been really enjoying sourdough English muffins, so I'll make a batch of sourdough English muffins, maybe when we go haying, and we can have our pear butter with that. The greenhouse is full of greens still. We had quite a few cucumbers that just didn't like the heat, and so I had to replant some cucumbers, and I'm leaving them in here until they're nice and big, so when I plant them out there, they do well. I actually have done this this is my 3rd time putting stuff out there. Cucumbers have just not been my thing here. I've not successfully grown cucumbers well since we've lived here. Granted, this is only our 2nd year, but I've really tried hard this year and they're just not working for me. So next year, I learned a lot this year. I learned a lot the year before. I'm not even going to attempt to put seed outside. I believe that you can, you should be able to, but it's not working here for me. For some reason, starts are, for certain things, necessary, and I can always plant them out there a little bit later. So I tried with seed this year, didn't do anything. I started some starts. I put them out there when they were like seedlings, and few of them died. And now that was right when our heat started to kind of creep up, because we started to get warm before all of this happened. We were in the 80s for quite some time before that. And then I grew some more starts, put them out there, you know, the night before during this heat, which that was probably not the smartest idea. Lost a few of them. So I'm just gonna let these suckers go to town, get nice and big, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do next year too. I'm gonna let them get nice and big, and then I will plant them. So over here we have kale that we've just been munching on, throwing in smoothies and all sorts of stuff. I wanna make sure that we do kale out here during the wintertime, and spinach. I really want to have fresh produce this winter. I've said this many times, our goal is to get completely off the food system and to be as self-sufficient as we can. There's a few things that we just won't be able to do, like wheat berries and beans and stuff like that. Those things we'll always buy from the store, and certain fats, but for the most part, we will be growing and eating off of our homestead. That is the long-term goal, long/short-term goal. And then these big guys right in here, besides this, are artichokes, or not artichokes, eggplant. I planted these a little bit late because I got my seed later. I wasn't really thinking about eggplant. So we'll see if I get anything this year. I have had some little caterpillars coming in here and munching holes into my stuff. So we've been trying to get those every time we see those and give them to the chickens. They don't like them because they're furry, but they kill them. So, and I don't have to. Anyway, so hopefully I'll be able to successfully grow those. If you guys have tips on eggplant, let me know. I've heard that they're fairly hard to grow. Then I've got some celery, some yellow peppers, which those probably won't do anything. I need to transplant them. I have peppers out in the garden right now that are starting to do stuff. These guys I got at the same time as my eggplant, and I wanted to grow some. I should have just been patient for next year though. And then we have some comfrey growing randomly in the ground. We actually had a pot of comfrey here. It's out. It's actually right behind it. We put it out in the garden this year, and the roots stuck really bad when I pulled the pot out, and then it just grew. And then I have a random pot of peppers. I need to separate these guys out. I don't know what it is. The little stick thing with the name tag came out, so I have no idea. I think they're jalapenos, but I don't know for sure. And then we extended the garden, which I'll show you guys in a little bit, and we decided that we wanted to actually plant it this year. So I've got some butternuts and some acorn squashes. I am really going to try hard to grow cilantro. My cilantro likes to grow to seed every time. So I'm mass planting it closer together. I'll transplant these little cubes into a bigger tray, but keep them nice and tight because I feel like my cilantro is very sparse because I always plant it in a single row, and I don't necessarily think that's how you're supposed to do it. This is just my judgment call. I think that it needs to be together more. So we'll see. And then I've got basil over here, which I think my basil is going to go to seed some of it, which I'm totally okay with. And then I need to harvest the bottom stuff. So this year has been a successfully unsuccessful garden season for us. If that makes any sense. We've had a ton of successes and a ton of failures. This is definitely a learning year for us. As you can see, we have a lot of things that are going to seed already, and it's because of that huge heat wave that we had come through, which is actually really disappointing because almost every single one of my radishes went to seed. And same goes for our spinach, which is really disappointing because that's a lot of seed that went to waste, yet it's not going to waste. We'll be able to harvest the seeds off of this stuff. It's just disappointing because I think we got maybe 2 radishes and a couple handfuls of spinach that we were able to use. With the spinach and the radishes going to seed, my lettuce was able to kind of stay tucked away from things, all the heat and stuff, and it is doing fantastic. It never did go to seed, which is wonderful. I have some lettuce over in the garden. You can kind of see it back there going to seed, and that's fine. I'll take that. And then another one of our successful failures has been our brassicas this year. Last year I did fantastic with brassicas. This year we tried a new technique and it did not work, and I also think my seed was a little bit old because we bought that before we moved here. So it's about 3 years old, and I just think that it was not as it didn't germinate as well because of that. I did have quite a few that did germinate, and the other reason, the technique part of things. Sorry, my nose is really stuffy all of a sudden. I think it's this cooler weather. It's making my nose think that it's wintertime. We did the toilet paper roll method, and I don't know if you guys know what that is. You just kind of lop off toilet paper rolls. I don't know if I showed any of those. You lop off toilet paper rolls and you stick them in a tray, you put dirt in them, and then you fill the seeds. Totally unsuccessful for me. My cabbages I did not do in that, and all of my cabbages are doing fantastic, and I had a great germination rate with those. My brassicas didn't do good, so that is something that we will not try again next year. And then I restarted a bunch of my brassicas here, and you can see my germination rate is just very slim, but again, I think that's due to older seeds. And then when I transplanted a bunch of them, due to the heat, I transplanted them at night. I needed to get them out of the start trays, and a lot of them died. So, just some things that we're learning, trial and error. But it's good for us because next year we know more of what we need to do. So here we have, I think these ones are zucchinis, yellowneck, a jungle, jungle of weeds. That's okay. It's out of the way. And then I've got some butternuts over here. Last year we did butternuts over here, and I started them by seed, and those didn't turn out. And the reason why we started so much from seed and it not working out is because we started seed from, we planted everything with seed at our old house, and we never had issues with that. So we still kind of came into this mindset here that we were able to start stuff from seeds, and not the case. We have to do starts with certain things. So these guys will be starts next year, so will those, so will these, and then I can have everything a little bit earlier. But this year they're doing really, really good. I planted some seeds earlier in the year, and they never did come up, and so I just quickly started some in seed pots because I wanted to make sure that we had butternuts. Butternuts are our absolute favorite. And with this heat, they're doing fantastic. And then along with the heat, I had this guy and one of those two pop up from seed. So that was pretty exciting. Hopefully these guys do really well. They're looking fantastic. I still feel like they're a little on the smaller side considering the time of year, but I think it's more because I think mentally they were in like August because we've been so hot, but I have to remember that it's the beginning of July. Our plan is to put a cattle panel hoop over the top of this, and so they can grow up and we don't have a bunch of spillage and then the cows get them. Over here we have more jungle along with onions and jungle, and our cucumbers. Now these cucumber plants are actually doing the best. They're starting to get their little tentacles to start to climb up stuff, which I'm super excited about. And then hopefully I can get the other ones caught up quicker in the greenhouse so I can plant them and they'll be ready. But you can see I did that guy the other day and he's not looking so good. But time will tell. And then we've got some on the other side, and it's the same thing. They're very piddly looking, so I'm trying to get the ones in the greenhouse going. I think I've got 22 in there, so I should have plenty for everybody. Got some more onions. Now these ones are last year's onions, and I believe that I'm going to get quite a bit of seed off of them this year. Our Jerusalem artichokes are looking fantastic. Thank you, Papa Pepper, for sending us these last year. Last year. We had some at the beginning of this year because I didn't harvest any, and they're amazing. We're so excited. And then I got some zinnias in front just for a little pop of color when those actually do something. I've got some dill planted here. My seed might be bad on this. I tried to do some in the greenhouse and it didn't do anything. So I'm planting it out here, and if it doesn't, I've got some more stuff, some new seed. And then here's lettuce here. We had a bunch of volunteer lettuce that came up, and so we didn't have enough room for it, and I didn't want to waste it. So I put it over here. This bed gets really hot, so it's really not lettuce friendly, but I didn't have anywhere else to put it. And I just reseeded over here. If we need to, we've got an umbrella that we can always come pop over here to put over the top of it to keep it safe. Eventually this will just be an asparagus bed. I'll have no lettuce here. I just needed something for the time being. I have asparagus right there that we started this year. We bought some, I don't know what you would call it. It's like a root of asparagus. It was strange. And then some more cucumbers. We do not want to buy pickles anymore from the grocery store. So cucumbers on this side too, hopefully to get it to grow over the trellis. Michael got my wind chimes out of the shop yesterday. We're still pulling stuff out for moving. And I just love the way that this looks here. So we may just keep these guys here. And then we've got some horseradish, and I'm trying to grow ginger in that pot, but it's not doing anything. So I might need to replant that. Our beans and our sugar snap peas are looking fantastic. We've got our pole beans in the back that are starting to climb. Super happy about that. Beets, carrots, some turnips in the back. And then these are all of our peppers. We actually have quite a few peppers coming on. Got some pepperoncinis, which I cannot wait. I'm going to pickle these. Pickled pepperoncinis. And then we've just got a plethora of peppers that we're testing out, seeing what we like, what we don't. These are all cayennes here. I've got some bell peppers in the back, jalapenos, paprika. Pretty well a nice little variety of peppers. We'll see what we like, what we don't use very much of, and we'll, weed through and do what we need to next year. This is kind of our experimental bed right now. I've got my artichokes from last year, or not my artichokes, my asparagus from last year. You can see it fluffing over. We're almost 100% that this is an artichoke. And the reason why I'm not giving us the full 100% is because it just doesn't fully look like an artichoke. And I'm confused by these things. If you look at them, they look like little baby artichokes. But the plant itself, the leaves aren't big enough. The plant itself looks like one, so I'm really confused. So we're letting it be. It's huge. It's starting to knock over my asparagus on this side. I replanted our artichokes because so the reason why we're almost positive that it is an artichoke, we planted artichokes here last year, and this came right out of the middle of one of the artichokes. Everything else died. So this year we're gonna mulch and get this all nice and ready for winter. So we'll see what this guy does. See if we have a bajillion artichokes, even though I heard you only get 4 or 5 off of one plant. We'll see. And then this is the extension to the garden this year. We are insanely excited to have this. We've got potatoes, which the potatoes are doing amazing. We wrapped it in raspberries, and we have a net because the chickens and the cows. And then my tomatoes are looking fantastic. We have flowering happening. These are all tomatoes that we did from seed, from our seeds last year, which that's just a whole nother excitement. I do have one tomato that's coming on, and it's pretty good sized. These are more pole beans. We obviously put the extension on after I had already planted these. So these are our new pole beans. Oh, look at they're getting so tall already. I'm so excited. Then down through here, We have corn and sunflowers, and this is just, I hope that we have success this year with corn. Success. We've always done corn and got it up really nice and tall and had wonderful looking corn, and then we'd have a windstorm at our old house and it would fall over. So hopefully we do not have that this year. Weird. And then these tomatoes back here we had some extra tomatoes, and so we just threw them on the ground. They are not as tall as these guys because we planted them later, but they're still looking really good. And then we've got some tomatoes behind it that we're hopefully going to plant today. We just don't want to waste them, even though we probably won't get much off of them because they've been pots for so long. But we just don't want to waste them. So this area is going to be the new greenhouse. But this year we just want to move the garden fence back and plant it, and Michael can build around it. He's pretty well gotten everything ready. All he has to do is put it up. That's what he's doing right now. He's tearing apart the walls that he got from the neighbor, that he tore down the neighbor's shop last year. I think it was last year. Anyway, that's what we're going to do the greenhouse with. So we're going to put all of our pumpkins and squashes, winter squashes over here. And then we also want to do some brassicas for the fall. So something else that happened is the last video that we showed you, we had a car seat mama, and she was laying eggs in that car seat. Well, she hatched out a few babies, and they are now on their own. They love hunting bugs in my garden. There's 3 of them. Let's see if we can get a better look at it. I usually spray them with a hose to get them out of here so they're on edge now that I'm coming over. We are pretty certain that 2 of them have Brahma daddies, and then the other one, I'm not sure what daddy is his, but I think that they all have sex link in them, which are not sex link, the black and white ones, barred rock. I think that the barred rock mama, because she was a barred rock, I think that all of those are her actual babies. I'm going to let the children tell you guys about the other ones that have come here on the homestead in the past couple weeks. Hey, you two. Go find me the big mama.
She's in the milk shed house.
Okay, well, go find her for me.
They're not. No.
Oh, I see her. I see her. You guys.
Over there. Yeah, I do.
Oh. You okay? Be gentle with it. Come here. Come show me what the big mama had. Oh, really? Sure sounds like it. Don't chase her too far up there, Abby.
I just found it under a piece of bark.
No kidding.
So I just grabbed it and
Oh, turn around so I can see your face. Oh.
It's mine.
That one's got the red face. Let me see it a little better.
It has an orange face.
You can't really tell on video. You can kind of see it a little bit.
It's mine.
So why did we call her Big Mama?
We call her Big Mama because she had 10 babies.
She did. She just came out of nowhere with them too.
Dad caught them walking around the sawmill.
Yep, she just came out of nowhere and she had 10 babies. Look, here's one of our other chickens. These are just multi-breeds. I would suspect that this is an Orpington mixed with, mixed with a, what is the mama, the big mamas? The barred rocks.
Mama.
Yeah, the barred rocks, because she's got speckles on her and speckles on her face. Pretty little chicken.
Yeah, and I love it.
So if the little girls get... What'd you find?
Yes.
Ooh, how
We found them.
pretty.
They're up there.
Okay, put the babies away. Go chase it back to its mama so it'll go to its mama. Last night I made some sourdough tortillas, so we're gonna have breakfast burritos this morning. I tried one of these this morning and they are, oh my gosh, good. So I will definitely leave the link for this recipe in the description. This morning's breakfast is completely from the homestead. This is chicken sausage that Michael and I did up, I don't know, a little bit ago, but this is from our chickens, homemade tortillas, eggs from our chicken. The only thing that is not going to be homemade is going to be the cheese. Even the hot sauce is homemade. So I love these kind of breakfasts. They make me feel good to feed my family. It's nice and healthy, and we know all of the ingredients that go into it. This is the softest dough. It's just wonderful, and it rolls out super easy, nice and flat. Love this recipe. Breakfast is coming along nicely. The eggs are all cheesy. You can see that string. I actually had some mozzarella that I made the other day in the fridge, so this meal is entirely homemade, and that just is the icing on the cake for me, even down to the ketchup that my family will put on. We're reusing these bottles, but I started making ketchup a few weeks ago. Oh no, it's been a couple months now actually, and we really enjoy it, and it's nice to know, again, the ingredients that are going into your food. And here is the hot sauce that I make. We love, well, there's a few of us that like this. Some of us, this is just too hot for. I should say some of them, because this is my favorite. I have never had a tortilla that I could actually roll up without it breaking. I am in love. So excited about this recipe. All right, everybody take a bite. Those are everything from that burrito that you're eating right now is completely homemade. Sausage that we made, eggs, ketchup, eggs that we harvested from our chickens, cheese that I made, and homemade sourdough tortillas. Are they good? If you spilled, well, how about you push yourself in? You're cute. What is it? One what? Dandelion.
We took out, what did we have, 4 big, huge pine trees?
Yeah.
I mean, huge pine trees. And a lot of them were just danger trees, but we needed some more light. And so actually over here, we took out those pine trees. And then in the back, I took out a good handful of trees. And then a 5th big pine tree over by the house. And now we have this huge sun window.
We took out a bunch here too.
Yeah,
There's
we took out 4 of them here as well, all fir trees and one pine tree, and extended this garden. Then we took out 4 huge pine trees here, and we were going to put an orchard out in a field somewhere, and we decided we have so many ground squirrels out that direction that we just decided not to put them out there. And then we would have to put a separate fence where we're fencing off our home site as it is anyways, so we wouldn't have any deer problems in here. So we just decided we'll go ahead and take these pine trees out and put the orchard right up close. So we got 4 apple trees, 2 pear trees, and then up that direction we have 2 cherry trees. And we'll put another variety of apple in the center. But we'll have a little lawn where
The center
pine,
here.
yes, where the sprinkler is. We'll have a little lawn here. Before, the grass grew in there, but it was pretty shaded out, and the pine trees just grass really doesn't grow underneath the pine trees. So that'd be a nice chunk of lumber. You can see the logs in the background. I got 3 different stacks of logs that I'm working on, cutting up with the sawmill. I have various projects. We want to do a deck in the front, a covered area in the back. We're in the process of getting ready to build this greenhouse here, which is a 22 by 30, and we'll be reusing those trusses that are under that tarp over there that I salvaged off a building that I tore down for somebody, and then I got to cut a lot of beams out of those logs for inside the storage container root cellar that we're building.
Oh, we haven't shown them that, so let's go over and show them that.
Okay, this is the storage container. It's a shipping container, 8 by 20, and we dug a big hole in the backyard, and we're going to mound this. So this side's going to be sticking out of the ground. I'm going to build bunks up. They'll flare out like this and then retain all the soil on this side all the way up to the top, and we're going to backfill it, and we're going to mound over the top. We'll do the same thing over here. I'll put bunks, retaining walls, and it'll retain that way, and we'll put a huge mound of dirt over the top. So we started backfilling. We backfilled what we feel comfortable backfilling without any bulging of the walls or collapsing. We know that we need to put some beams inside so that the roof is stronger. We feel comfortable actually driving up on top of this thing with dirt and mounding the dirt. The back side, there'll be a 12-foot room in the back, which will be the actual root cellar, and we're gonna vent the back and the front separately, but we'll put a wall about 12 foot, leaving a 12-foot room in the back because that's going to be furthest underground, and I have an insulated door that we already had anyways, so that'll be the root cellar side, and then this room in the front will be just kind of a controlled room. It's like a buffer room, and we'll put some like we have an old freezer that we use for a refrigerator with frozen bottles and things like that we'll put in there, and it's a lot cooler than outside, but it's not going to be near as controlled as this back room just because it's not buried as much. So we're going to leave this door sealed shut. This will be the door we use. And so, yeah, this will be a wall right here with this door, and this will be a little room. We'll put shelves, we'll put freezers, and this will just be, we are going to get some rigid foam and insulate this part. It will be underground mostly, except for the face of it, and when you get up towards the front, it'll be a lot more shallow. So back here, we're hoping to have at least 4 to 6 feet underground. So at the shallowest point. And this is going to be just 12 foot of shelf on each side and shelves across the back wall. And it's all buried. It's buried about right here, about a line going that way. I left the top open. I'm going to put the vents in. I will run the vents down at the floor level, and then I'll run a vent up at the ceiling level, And I'll do that inside the wall for each room.
It's already less echoey in here since you've backfilled it a little bit.
Yeah.
So the big kids found something pretty exciting the other day, and I'm gonna let them take the camera up and go show you guys what they found.
We're going to find the Saskatoon berries. How we found them was Maddie, Gail, we were walking up here, and then I seen them, and I wanted to show them to Mom to see if they were edible, and she looked into them, and her girlfriend told her about them, and then she found a picture that matched up and realized that that was it. Saskatoon. Yeah. Mom said they're also called service berries. We should have brought the basket. Just up here. It's pretty. Mm-hmm. Here's a tree. Another one right here. The berries look like a little bit by the tree. Here, can you hold this down for me? Hang on. That's good. And the not ripe ones, keep pulling it. You have to wait till they're ripe. Here? Yeah. Hang on, I'll show.
What did we do the other day?
Butcher chickens.
Yes, we butchered a whole mess of chickens. There's a lot of them in here. And they were all 4 to 4.5 pounds besides a few random smaller ones. We had a couple gimpies, and I know that one of them was the smaller one, and I think we just had like a couple that we picked that were just a little too early. But for the most part, they're all like 4 to 4.5 pounds. So we really had a lot of success with this batch of chickens. We're super blessed in that area, huh?
Thank you for watching. We'll catch you on our next one. Homesteading, happy homesteading. Bye.
Autumn.
And you should
bye.
be goodies. And you should make cookie goodies.